What's good, everybody? In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to create your Binance.us or your Binance account so that you can get started on a centralized exchange to start buying and selling crypto. So if you live in the US, make sure you're on Binance.us, and if you are anywhere else in the world, you can just use regular Binance. That's pretty important because if you use the wrong Binance for your country, your account can get locked. So make sure you're using the right exchange. So to get started, you can head over to Binance.us or Binance.com, and it's going to give you this prompt here where they're going to want you to put in your email. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then you can put in your password. There we go. And then you can go ahead and put in a referral ID if you have one. This is just my personal referral ID from my main account, which I put in here. You don't have to put it in, but if you do use a valid referral ID, you will save 20% on your trading fees, which is pretty good. And lastly, you're going to go ahead and check this box stating that you're over 18 years old and that you agree to the terms and conditions and their privacy policy. And you can click on these to read more about them. Next things next, create the account, and it'll verify you. Now I'm going to solve this little jigsaw puzzle by sliding this into the correct spot, and it'll open up your account. And now you're going to need to access your email and put in the code. And it's on a timer, so make sure you don't put this off. You have 10 minutes to do this. Alright, next thing it's going to ask you to do is secure your account and complete identity verification. So you're definitely going to want to secure your account because you are working with money and you're not going to want anybody to steal your money. So it's probably going to ask you to do some two-factor authentication, put in some anti-phishing codes, whitelist addresses, that kind of stuff, and we'll go over all of it. And the next thing it's going to want you to do is complete an identity verification. This is for tax purposes, and the reason you need to complete this identity verification is because you'll have some pretty severe restrictions on what you can do within the exchange if you do not complete all the stages of identity verification. So you'll probably have to do it. So we're going to go ahead and click on Secure Account. It's going to want us to put in a phone number, and then you're going to go ahead and click on Send Code. And what this is basically doing is creating two-factor authentication through text message. So every time you're going to log into your account, it'll text you a code that you'll have to input along with your password. All right, so now we're going to enable authentication. So now we've just enabled two-factor authentication through text messaging. All right, so lastly, it's going to ask you to verify your identity. It's pretty straightforward. You're just going to go ahead and click on verify identity and just input all of this information and just follow the prompts. You're going to have to put in your first name, your middle name, your last name. You don't have to really put in your gender. It doesn't really matter. Your date of birth will have to be accurate, and it's going to check to make sure you're over 18 years old. And then you're going to need your tax ID or your social security number. And that's pretty important because if you don't have it, it will not let you do this. And then you're also going to have to upload government documents, whether it's a passport or your driver's license or some other kind of official verification. So it's going to look at your face and some of the numbers on there. So make sure you have all that available because it's going to check that and make sure you're a real person. All right, so after you're done with all that, it's going to bring you to your dashboard where you can see your value. It's going to show you the activity over here. It's going to prompt you to upgrade your level of security so you can enable two-factor authentication. You're definitely going to want to do your identity verification so that you can actually interact with the exchange. Your anti-phishing code you're going to want to do as well. And what this anti-phishing code does is whatever you type in here will appear in all emails from Binance. So that you will know that it's a legit email and it's not some kind of phishing attack or someone's pretending to be Binance. So you're going to go ahead and click on Submit. It's going to ask you to do the two-factor authentication. So now our anti-phishing code is in there. The next thing you're going to want to do is head back over to Security. You can enable Google authentication if you want to. You just go ahead and click on. You're going to download it from the Google Play Store. You're going to scan this QR code. You're going to write down this backup key and treat this like it's your like private keys for crypto or something like that, because if you ever lose your Google Authenticator device, like the phone that it was on, you're going to need this key to access it again. So write this key down and never lose it. Keep it just as secure as you would anything else crypto related. And then lastly, you go ahead and just log in, put in your two-factor authentication code, and then you also put in your Google authentication code as well. So now you're like triple secured. All right, lastly, it's going to want you to whitelist some addresses. So if there's a specific address that you want to withdraw crypto to, you can go ahead and click on add withdrawal address, which I highly recommend, because if anyone hacks into your account, you're going to want some kind of whitelist so that they can't withdraw crypto to their personal account or something like that. But truth is, if they log into your account, they probably have the means at this point to change your whitelists, but it'll take them more time and perhaps give you more time to uh, react to the hack. So you can go ahead and put in like BNB, for example, if you want to take it off the network. You're going to go ahead and select which network you want to do. You can title it whatever you want. So let's say you're sending it to your Binance Smart Chain wallet. So Binance Smart Chain, uh, we'll call it a bridge. I like to call it a bridge, so I don't really use it as a wallet. And then you can type in the address of that wallet that you want to send it to, and then if there's a memo required, you put that in as well, and you click submit. It's very important to match the coin up with the appropriate network, because you don't want to be sending your funds to the wrong place. And we'll get more into how these networks really work in later videos. Alrighty, so once you've done all that, you're pretty much secure. Next thing you're going to want to do is probably deposit some money into your account and purchase some crypto. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm switching to an account in which I have my identity verified on already, because that process can take a couple weeks if it's very slow for whatever reason. When I did it for the first time, it only took, I think, about a day, but I do know some people who took weeks and even some months for some others. So it really just depends case to case. Phishing attacks can be very sneaky, and they may have this address up here changed so slightly that you won't even realize it. So what I personally like to do is, once I'm made sure that I'm on the correct website, I like to bookmark it so I can access the exchange only through that bookmark. So what I recommend you do is just create a bookmark for the official site so that you know every time you access it, it's going to be legit. So to deposit some money on the verified account, I go up to my wallet, click on deposit, and when you're doing this for the first time, you're likely going to be depositing US dollars. So you can go ahead and switch this to USD or whatever currency that you want to deposit. And you're going to go ahead and select where you want to deposit it from. So before I show you how to set up the bank account, some people may want to start out buying crypto with a credit card or something like that. So let's go ahead and click on add a new account. And let's say you want to do debit card. So it's pretty straightforward. Just click on debit card, input all of the information that it wants from you, and then you click add card, and it'll let you import money into your account. It is worth noting that you can use a credit card, but there may be fees that apply. So be careful with a credit card, and make sure you know what kind of fees could apply to you, and that you actually have the money to pay that credit card. So if you want to use a debit or credit card, that's how you would do it. But this is not the method that I would recommend. So if you want to do ACH, which is basically just a bank transfer, automatic clearinghouse, I think is what it stands for. Basically, if you just want to connect your bank to the exchange, which is what I recommend, you go ahead and click on this, click on continue, find your bank, or you can search for it here. And you're just going to log into your account pretty much and hook up your bank. If you've worked with stocks before, I'm sure you've hooked up your bank somewhere else before. The process is not very different. Just make sure you have all the information you need for these accounts, such as your login credentials, perhaps even your routing number or your account number or something like that. So once you got all this hooked up, we'll go ahead and go back to deposit, switch this back to US dollar, and then you're going to type in the amount of money that you want to deposit, click where you want to deposit it from, and click on continue. And it's just going to ask you to confirm some stuff, and you can deposit money relatively easily. And if you head down here, you can see all the recent deposits into your account for USD and for crypto. And the last thing I want to show you guys here is, if you go up to resources and click on staking, it's going to bring you to this page here where you can see all the different types of coins that you can stake through your spot wallet and earn annual rewards paid out in interest in that coin or its reward coin. So as long as you hold the minimum holding amount required, you can actually earn these staking rewards. So let's take VeChain as an example. You can see that you're paid out an annual reward between 1 and 3%, and you have to hold at least one VET to qualify. So if you go ahead and click it, you get a little bit more information, and you can see that the reward coin is VETHO. So you'll be getting paid out 1 to 3% in VETHO, which is what's used to pay for gas fees on the VeChain network. But with other coins here, you're actually going to get paid out in the coin itself. So for example, if you hold at least 10,000 OneCoin, you'll get paid out 2 to 3% in OneCoin. You can also look at their historical rewards here and see what's typically paid out and the percentage that people typically receive. You can see the last distribution date and how many were distributed, and what was the annual percent yield. These rewards are typically paid out monthly and distributed straight into your spot wallet on the exchange. However, there's definitely better ways to stake your coins. I'd always recommend that you stake your coins through your hot wallet or your cold storage if it allows, because then you'll actually own the private keys to your crypto, and you could also potentially get more rewards. And if you provide liquidity to DeFi protocols, I know you can earn some very lucrative returns. And we'll cover all this in later videos. So that's pretty much how you set up the exchange and add payment methods. In the next video, we're going to look at how to actually buy crypto off the exchange and how to sell crypto. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video.